big questions sometimes feel like we have to be bound to the right answer. Hopefully people can watch this piece and come away with a sense of freedom from just asking a better question rather than trying to be right or to get it. Like, oh, I don't get it. I don't know. I mean, I think I like the duet, but I don't know. You don't have to know, right? Like, the better question is, what did it make me think about? We really want to make sure that we're getting to the opportunity to ask a better question.
Christal's very adamant and particular with who she brings into the space because everyone has a role to play to build whatever is in the space.
I swear, out of the blue, 2 years ago, she says, Robin Wilson, I'm going to do this piece called What We Ask of Flesh.
So this is the second time we're working on this particular piece. The first time we were at Jacob's Pillow, the second time is here at the Kennedy Center, and the first time was completely different.
And this just like popped up, and I was like, yes! So I did.
We were just playing with what are we talking about? Like, so there was a lot of trial and error, like tons of music, tons of movement ideas. It's like Christal made the reference to like birth is like a kind of violent thing. It's not like pretty. Like babies don't just like fly out. There's like some, you know, some tension and some struggle there.
In the larger context of the world, this work is doing really powerful, deeply investigative work around reconciliation.
But then it's this beautiful thing. So I feel like that was kind of like us having the baby in a way. And now we're kind of like raising the baby.
Particularly to reconcile oneself to oneself.
In this role, I am identified or named as Love Voyager, he who laughs at everything.
My character is violence. And that is very hard for me to take on because also being a dark-skinned male body, people see this as violence.
I'm not playing a character. I'm playing myself within. I'm not playing myself. I'm being, just existing within the work.
How are we processing grief and what are the things that may come up within it?
At first, it was a lot of grief. A lot of grief.
Violence can come through grief, survival, love, laughter.
The piece is extremely deep. What we ask of flesh is the idea that our spirits are inhabited, almost trapped in our bodies, right? And then all of a sudden they converge and are put inside of the physical body. You know, if you want to say good and bad, yin and yang, whatever you want to call them, they're constantly fighting and they're trapped inside of our bodies until eventually you pass away and then the spirit is free again.
Creating an authentic reality within that is really challenging. Because some days you do it and it feels right, it feels good, and maybe it doesn't feel good for someone else. So you have to keep going until you get to that state.
This piece has been primarily structured improv.
I see dancers move and I respond. It's like, I can't help myself. I pick up that instrument, I pick up something else, my voice does something.
So it's our job as musicians now to actually give them those elements at the right time.
It isn't a thinking process. It's a spirit process and it's a physical reaction response.
To figure out what each character represents and how that fits in one being. Christal does an amazing job of taking very abstract principles and ideas and concretizing them in a way that people can relate to them. And I think this piece is a perfect example of that.
The big thing is we always get to create another big bang after we've created this world together.
The work is also expansive enough, it holds enough space that any one of us can be in it, that it invites all of us into it.
There's always something else to move on to each time we run the piece. So I would just say we're just creating multiple verses right now.
I think that that's really radical.